Dear students, welcome back to English class. How are you, students? Students, our Lord God Almighty says, I will be with you. I will not leave you or forsake you. Be strong and courageous. So, dear students, you should be strong and courageous. Our Almighty God will guide you, guard you, and protect you and your family members. Students, now we are going to learn the second poem, Our Casuarina Tree. This poem is written by the poetess Torudet. In the poem, Our Casuarina Tree, the poetess Torudet describes the huge tree in a garden which symbolizes her happy childhood associations. The poem gives the objective description of the tree. In this poem, Torudet celebrates the majesty of the casuarina tree that she used to see by her window and remembers a happy childhood days spent under it and revives her memories with her beloved siblings. About the poetess. Torudet was born in the year 1856. She was a Bengali poetess from the Indian subcontinent who wrote in English and French. She was the third daughter of the family. The Dutt family was a family of distinguished intellectuals and poets. She also had the advantage of being taught by excellent English tutors at home. She stayed in Europe and England. Toru, with all her exposure to and involvement in Western life and culture, loved the land of her birth and remained thoroughly Indian in her consciousness and sensibility. Our Casuarina Tree, the most well-known of Toru's poems, was included in her miscellaneous poems. Torudet died in the year 1877. This poem, Our Casuarina Tree by Torudet, consists of 5 stanzas. Each stanza comprises of 11 lines, so totally this poem contains 55 lines. The first 2 stanzas are imaginative and sensuous description of the casuarina tree, replete with imagery taken from nature. First stanza. Like a huge python winding round and round, the rugged trunk indented deep with scars, up to his very summit near the stars, a creeper climbs in whose embraces bound, no other tree could live, but gallantly. The giant wears the scarf and flowers are hung, in crimson clusters all the boughs among, whereon all day are gathered bird and bee, and oft at nights the garden overflows, with one sweet song that seems to have no close, sung darkling from our tree while men repose. Students, here python is a huge snake. Rugged means rough. Summit means top. Gallantly means bravely. Crimson means red. Repose means a state of rest. Here in the first stanza, the poetess Torudet begins the poem with a description of the tree. The poetess says that the creeper has wound itself around the rugged trunk of the casuarina tree like a huge python. The creeper has left deep mark on the trunk of the tree. The tree is so strong that it bears the tight hold of the creeper. In the 5th line of the stanza, the tree is described as being gallant and possibly brave, as very few trees could survive in the stranglehold of this creeper. The poetess then goes on to describe the life that thrives amidst every facet of the tree. In the 6th line, the tree is metaphorically described as a giant due to its huge size, strength, and boldness. Next line, in crimson clusters all the boughs among. Here, the poetess says the casuarina tree is covered with creeper bearing red flowers which appear as if the tree is wearing a colorful scarf. Throughout the day, birds and bees are gathered on the tree. The last 3 lines of the first stanza, and oft at night the garden overflows with one sweet song that seems to have no close, sung darkling from a tree while men repose. Here, the poet says, often at night, the garden echoes and seems to be jubilant, and the song has no end. It continues till dawn. Students, based on your understanding of the stanza, answer the following questions. What is the creeper compared to? The creeper is compared to python. Next question. How does the creeper appear on the tree? The creeper has wound itself around the rugged trunk of the cashew nut tree like a huge python. The creeper has left deep marks on the trunk of the tree. Next question. Describe the garden during the night. During the night, a bird produces a sweet sound which is like a song. It goes on as it has no end. Read the given lines and answer the questions. The poetical lines are: a creeper climbs in whose embraces bound no other tree could live. First question. Which tree is referred to in the above lines? Casuarina tree is referred to in the above lines. Second question. How does the tree survive the tight hold of the creeper? Answer. The tree is so strong that it bears the tight hold of the creeper. Next question. Why does Torudet use the expression a creeper climbs? Answer. Torudet uses the expression because really a creeper climbs on the casuarina tree. Next two poetical lines. The giant wears the scarf and flowers are hung. In crimson clusters all the bough among. First question. Who is the giant here? Answer. The casuarina tree is the giant here. Second question. Why is the scarf colorful? Answer. The scarf is colorful because it is made of crimson colored flowers. Identify the figure of speech in the first stanza. First two poetical lines. Like a huge python winding round and round, the rugged trunk indented deep with scars. Simile is the figure of speech used in these lines. What is a simile? In a simile, a comparison is made between two objects of different kinds which have, however, at least one point in common. The simile is usually introduced by such words as like or as. In short, comparison between two things using as or like. Here the poetess compares two things, python and creeper. So, the figure of speech mentioned in these lines is simile. Next one. A creeper climbs in whose embraces bound no other tree could live, but gallantly the giant wears the scarf and flowers are hung. The figure of speech used in these lines is metaphor. What is a metaphor? When two unlike objects or things having some common qualities are compared, we call it as metaphor. Here, the tree is metaphorically described as a giant due to its huge size, strength, and boldness. Now let me read the next stanza of the poem. When first my casement is wide open thrown, at dawn my eyes delighted on his rest, sometimes and most in winter on his crest, a grey baboon sits statue-like alone, watching the sunrise while on lower boughs, his puny offspring leap about and play, and far and near kokilas hail the day, and to their pastures went our sleepy cows, and in the shadow on the broad tank cast, by the whole tree so beautiful and vast, the water lilies spring like snow in mist. Here, casement is a type of window that is fixed on one side and opens like a door. Baboon is a type of large monkey found in Africa and Asia. Kokila is a type of bird similar to the cuckoo. Went means stroll. Hoard means white frost deposits on the tree. Enmassed means amassed, that is gathered in a mass. In the second stanza, the poet Torudot says, at dawn, when she opens her window, she is delighted to see the casuarina tree. Mostly in winters, a grey baboon is seen sitting on the crest of the tree, seeing the sunrise with a young one leaping and playing in the tree's boughs. Here, boughs means branches of a tree. Seventh line of the second stanza, and far and near, kokilas hail the day. Kokila, a type of bird similar to the cuckoo. This bird hailed the day with their songs, sitting far and near. The sleepy cows casually went to their pastures. Last three lines of the second stanza, and in the shadow on the broad tank cast, by the whole tree so beautiful and vast, the water lilies spring like snow and must. Here the poetess says, the shadow of the tree covered by snow appears to fall on the huge water tank and the water lilies springing in the pond. Based on your understanding of the second stanza, answer the following questions. First question, how does the poet spend her winter? Answer, she looks through the window. Mostly in winters, a grey baboon is seen sitting on the crest of the tree, seeing the sunrise with the young ones leaping and playing in the tree's boughs. The shadow of the tree appears to fall on the huge water tank. Next question. Name the bird that sings in the poet's garden. Kokila, a bird similar to cuckoo, sings in the poet's garden. Now identify the figure of speech used in this stanza. The poetical line, a grey baboon sits statue-like alone. The figure of speech used in this line is simile. Next poetical line, the water lilies spring like snow en mast. Here the figure of speech used is simile. Now the third stanza of the poem, but not because of his magnificence. Dear is the casuarina to my soul. Beneath it we have played, though years may roll. O sweet companions, loud with love intense, for your sakes shall the tree be ever cheer. Blend with your images it shall arise, in memory till the hot tears blind mine eyes. What is the ditch like murmur that I hear, like the sea breaking on a shingle beach? It is the tree's lament and airy speech that happily to the unknown land may reach. Here, ditch means lament, shingle means rocky, airy means strange. Here in the third stanza, Torudot says that it is not because of the majestic appearance of the casuarina tree that it is dear to her heart and soul, but also that she along with her siblings spend happy moments under it. The poetess' siblings are brought in the scene where she remembers the playful and cheerful moments that they shared under the tree. The poetess affirms, the tree is so dear to her not because of its magnificence, but for the memories of her childhood beneath the boughs of the tree with her beloved companions. It has been many years now, still she gets energy from her sweet childhood memories beneath the tree. Many years passed, still she hears the murmur-like sound from the boughs of the tree, like a sea breaks on pebbles in the seashore. It's the third murmur from raised by his branches that may reach far off lands. Students, based on your understanding of the third stanza, answer the questions. First question: why is the casuarina tree dear to poet's heart? Answer: Torudat says that it is not because of the majestic appearance of the casuarina tree that it is dear to her heart and soul, but because she, along with her siblings, spent happy moments under it. Next question: does nature communicate with human beings? Answer: yes, nature communicates with human beings. Next, read the given lines and answer the questions. The poetic lines are: beneath it we have played, though years may roll. O sweet companions, loved with love intense, for your sakes shall the tree be ever dear. First question: what did they do under the tree? Answer: they played under the tree. Second question: why should the tree be dear to the poet? Answer: the tree should be dear to the poet because of the dear and beloved ones with whom she played under the tree. Identify the figure of speech used in the following lines. The poetical lines are: what is the dirge like murmur that I hear, like the sea breaking on a shingle beach? Simile is the figure of speech mentioned in these lines. Fourth stanza of the poem: unknown yet well known to the eye of faith, I have heard that wail far, far away, in distant lands by many a sheltered bay, when slumbered in his cave the water wraith, and the waves gently kissed the classic shore of France or Italy beneath the moon, when earth lay tranced in a dreamless swoon, and every time the music rose before, mine inner vision rose a form sublime, thy form, O tree, as in my happy prime, I saw thee in my own loud native clime. Here, wraith means apparition, that is, ghost-like image of a person. Tranced means dreamy condition. Sublime means glorious. In this stanza, Poetus Torudat says, the memories of the trees deeply touch the poetess' heart. In her childhood, she knows the tree very much. Now she has left the land, but still she gets the high-pitched grief from the tree into the distant lands. Those beautiful memories of that massive tree stir her heart even when she is in foreign countries like France or Italy. Torudat has brought out the theme of nature as something that shares feeling with humans that lightens the burden on the heart. The poetess continues with a description of how strong the image of the tree is, even when in lands far away. Even in France and Italy, the poetess can hear the tree's lament. Read the given lines and answer the questions. The last two poetical lines of the fourth stanza: thy form, O tree, as in my happy prime, I saw thee in my own loud native clime. The questions. First question: what does thee refer to? Thee refers to the casuarina tree. Second question: where did the poetess see the tree? Answer: the poetess saw the tree in her own loud native land. Now the fifth stanza of the poem. Therefore I fain would consecrate a lay unto thy honor, tree beloved of those who now in blessed sleep for I repose. Dearer than life to me, alas, were they. Mayest thou be numbered when my days are done, with deathless trees like those in Barodale, under whose awful branches lingered pale, fear, trembling, hope, and death the skeleton, and time the shadow, and though weak the was, that would thy beauty fain, O fain regards, may love defend thee from oblivion's curse. Here, fain means eagerly, consecrate means to officially make something holy, lay means amateur, rigors means repeat, oblivion means a state of forgetfulness. Here in the last stanza, the poetess wishes to dedicate this poem in the honor of her beloved tree and her companions associated with it. She affirms the casuarina tree will remain even after her death, along with other trees as it's now. The poetess wishes to consecrate the tree's memory and importance for the sake of those who are now dead, and looks ahead to death, hoping that the tree should be spared from obscurity. She immortalizes the tree through this poem, just as Wordsworth sanctified the yew trees of Barrowdale. She says, may love defend thee from oblivion's curse, expressing her wish that love should shield her tree against the curse of forgetfulness, and that the tree should be remembered out of love and not because it cannot be forgotten. Poetess wishes the immortality of her verse and ends with a delightful line, may love defend thee from oblivion's curse. Based on your understanding of this stanza, answer the following questions. First question, what has Wordsworth sanctified in his poem? Answer, Wordsworth sanctified the yew trees of Barrowdale. Next question, to whom does Torudet want to consecrate the tree's memory? Answer, Torudet wishes to consecrate the tree's memory and importance for the sake of those who are now dead. Next question, the casuarina tree will be remembered forever. Why? Answer, the tree will be remembered out of love and not just because it cannot be forgotten. So the tree will be remembered forever. Read the given lines and answer the questions. The poetical lines are, fear, trembling, hope, and death the skeleton, and time the shadow, and though weak the was, that would thy beauty fain, O fain recurse, may love defend thee from oblivion's curse. First question, what does the poet mean by the expression, may love defend thee from oblivion's curse? Answer, the poet means that the tree should not be forgotten. Next question, what does the expression fain convey? Answer, fain means eager. The poet is eager to make the tree holy. Next question, what does the poet convey through the expression fear, trembling, hope? Answer, the poet hopes that the memory of this tree will live on in a poem as the memory of tree celebrated by Wordsworth has lived on in that poet's work. Students, next we have explained the following lines with reference to the context. Here in this question, a poetical line or lines will be given. You have to answer from which poem that particular line is taken and the poet's name. Now, the poetical line given here is, dear is the casuarina to my soul. First, you should write a reference. In this reference part, you should mention the poem and the poet. Here, the poem is Our Casuarina Tree and the poetess name is Torudet. Next, you should write explanation. In this explanation, you should explain the given line or lines. Now, the explanation for this line is, the poetess feels that the tree is dear to her not for its gallant appearance, but for the nostalgic memories of a happy childhood that it brings to her. Torudet says that it is not because of the majestic appearance of the casuarina tree that it is dear to her heart and soul, but also that she, along with her siblings, spent happy moments under it. Next two questions. In this, explain the following lines with reference to the context you should write as assignment. The first one is, it is the tree's lament and airy speech. And the second one, unto thy honor, tree beloved of those who now in blessed sleep for I repose. You should write these two questions as assignment. Write it in your English notebook. Rhyme scheme. Rhyme scheme is a poet's deliberate pattern of lines that rhyme with other lines in a poem or a stanza. The rhyme scheme or pattern can be identified by giving n words that rhyme. This poem is written in 11-line stanza form. It has a clear rhyming scheme with A, B, B, A, C, D, D, C, E, E, E. The rhyme is also clear with the same sound words in the first stanza as round, bound, scars, stars, gallantly be, hung among, overflows, close, repose. All the 5 stanzas of this poem are identified with the same rhyme scheme A, B, B, A, C, D, D, C, E, E, E. Alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of the same consonant sound in successive or nearby words. In the first line of the poem, like a huge python winding round and round, R is repeated in the words round and round. So, round and round are alliterated words. In the second stanza, second line, at dawn, my eyes delighted on it rest. Here, D is repeated in the words dawn and delighted. So, dawn and delighted are alliterated words. Let me summarize the poem. In the poem Our Casuarina Tree, the poet Torudad describes the huge tree in her garden which symbolizes her happy childhood associations. The casuarina tree is tall and strong, with a creeper winding around it like a python. The tree stands like a giant with a colorful scarf of flowers. Birds surround the garden, and the sweet song of birds is heard. The poet is delighted to see the casuarina tree through her casement. She sees a grey monkey sitting like a statue on top of the tree, the cows grazing, and the water lilies springing in the pond. The poet feels that the tree is dear to her not for its gallant appearance, but for the nostalgic memories of her happy childhood that it brings to her. She strongly believes that nature communicates with human beings. The poet could communicate with the tree even when she is in a far off land, as she could hear the tree lamenting her absence. The poet consecrates the tree's memory to her loved ones who are not alive. She immortalizes the tree through her poem, like the poet Wordsworth, who sanctified the yew tree of Borrowdale in verse. She expresses her wish that the tree should be remembered out of love and not just because it cannot be forgotten. Answer in a paragraph. The question is, describe the reminiscence of the poet when she sees the casuarina tree. Students, a reminiscence means story told about a past event remembered by the poet. So students, you have to prepare a very good paragraph of about 100 to 150 words and write it in your notebook and study well. Students, in this second poem, Our Casuarina Tree, you have to write in your English notebook, answer the following questions and its answers, read the given lines and answer the questions, identify the figure of speech, explain the following lines with reference to the context and the paragraph answer. Copy all this in your English notebook and study. Students, make the most of your opportunities because you never know if you will get them again. Every obstacle is an opportunity to become a stronger version of yourself. Albert Einstein said, "In the middle of every difficulty lies opportunity." So, dear students, turn your obstacles into opportunities and your problems into possibilities. Students, remember, we don't grow when things are easy, we grow when we face challenges. I wish you good health and all the best. Hope everyone is staying safe. Let's pray all these difficult situations will end soon. May God bless you. Thank you.